The information in this video is provided for informational and educational purposes only.
Welcome to Dose of Deanne, where you'll get a little shot of what my life is like living with SMA. I'm really excited about today's video. Ever since I learned about this, I wanted to share it with you guys. It's something that I don't think would benefit me at this point, but if it was around 10 years ago, I would have jumped at the opportunity to try it. Well, figuratively speaking, of course, because, can't jump. But I want everybody to know that it's available, and I want you to check in your area to see if it's something that you can try if you think you could benefit from it. What am I talking about? Well, I want to keep it a surprise, but we're headed on a field trip. So, join me as we head to Carlisle State Park. Can you guess what I'm going to show you? With your disability placard here in Minnesota, you can purchase a vehicle permit which allows access to all of Minnesota state parks for a year for the amount of $12.50. That's a reduced price from $35.
I'm gonna just go look at it. Action Track Chair, new way to fun. Rental is free.
How cool is that? As of August 1st, 2023, there are 13 state parks that have these all-terrain wheelchairs available for use in the park. It does require a reservation, so be sure and call ahead, and that way they can get the wheelchair charged and ready to go, and you can make sure it's available, and you can now access so much more of the park. It's pretty amazing. While we were checking out the chair, one of the park employees stopped by and was able to show us some of the features of these chairs.
What kind of terrain can you travel with it? Like compared to my wheelchair?
Compared to you, I mean, it'll go over logs. It'll go. I mean, if there was a log.
It'll go over logs.
Yeah. So if there's a log in the trail, it'll go over that if you needed to.
Wow.
It'll go over the water bars. Obviously, thinking about angles, it does take a little bit. Thinking about the way you take it, instead of going straight over, you might take it at a slight angle so that you're not up in the air and dropping or something like that. But it went. I don't see anything. But we took it up some fairly steep inclines and had no problem. I think it's 21% grade, if I remember right.
Okay.
Is what it suggested. So not to go above that.
I wonder how much snow it would go through.
They told us it would go through a foot of snow. No problem, but no more than 6 inches or so of water because we want to keep it out of
above
the batteries are
batteries.
down low. Yeah, but it'll go through 6 or so inches of water, no problem, and a foot of snow like nothing. So.
Because I'm unable to transfer myself and I don't really have anyone that can help me transfer, it's a little bit difficult for me to use this chair. Plus, I need a little more supportive seating. The chair is kind of a one-size-fits-all type of deal, and even though there are aspects that do make it more comfortable and there is some adjustability, I don't think it's quite right for me. But here, let's take a look at some of those features.
Now I heard you're getting possibly a transfer board.
We are going to. We don't have our transfer board yet, but yes, everywhere that has a track chair will have a.
Because I know that would make
board.
it easier for some to be able to transfer.
Correct. Well, so every one of these parks that has a chair like this will have at least one transfer board. Okay. It is nice. I mean, it has lots in the sense that it also has some comforts for folks. Like if you're going out, you have onboard USB charger. So if you want to charge your phone, you have that. It's got the lights. It has the ability to, if you are a right-hand drive versus a left-hand drive, you can switch all that. So you don't have to try to figure out how to drive on the outside. It also has the assist. So I don't know if you saw that. I can show you. It has an assist here. So, for example, who are you?
Oh,
I'm Karen, Deanne's mom.
So Karen could actually,
Oh,
If
yeah!
so I could actually pull this, and now instead of you driving, you could ride in it, and Karen could drive it for you.
that would be helpful for a lot of people. I
Yeah,
think.
so you don't even have, so if you don't, you can set it that way. So you do have the I mean, that is an option, obviously. You don't have to obviously walk behind, you can walk side by side on
Yeah.
some of our trails that are wide enough. In some places that wouldn't work, because the trail's not wide enough, but in other places it is, so.
There's a little bench back here, too.
Yeah, and so that's a feature. Yep. So there's a bench back here, and that's to hold your cooler, your backpack, any
Oh,
supplies or medical things you would need, whatever it is, along the way. So, I mean, it has a cup holder and whatever else. It has a headlight, but there's all sorts of other accessories to put on.
And
We
you just
hold
don't
a-
know yet what
We
it'll
don't know
be.
what we're gonna need. We have a managed deer hunt every year in the park, and last year 2 folks at Wild River, no, somewhere else, shot deer out of the chair. So it has a gun rest for it that'll lock in, and then so they could actually sit in the ground blind, drive it into the ground blind, and then shoot the deer right from there, from the chair.
Huh.
So there's those types of things. There's fishing rod holders. There's other backpack
there you go.
holders. And all sorts of accessory things, depending on what gets requested from folks as it gets used. So there's all these additional places
Yep.
to put stuff on.
Well, and I
This
suppose
adjusts.
you could get closer to the lake with this to go fishing.
Oh yeah, and it'll go right down into
Yeah.
the sand and whatever
Yeah.
else. No, absolutely.
Oh, the possibilities, right?
Oh, the possibilities. Yeah. So it's still fairly new, and I mean, the
Well, there is
headrest.
a harness with it.
The harness the harness
Yeah.
is here. There's a full harness, and then obviously this can also adjust, so you can have the headrest in different spots,
Oh, yeah.
depending on where you need that. But yeah, the rep said they've had just about anybody size wise.
Yeah.
Yes, accidents can happen is the one thing you said. You're going places you're not normally going with your regular chair. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing. Yeah, it's not, this table back here is not made for riding, but what it does, I don't know, you probably can't see that from there, but it does have bogey wheels on the back, so it can't go all the way back.
Oh, sure.
So it can't tip back,
Yep.
Yeah.
And then this up is so if you're going up or down hills, so that you can adjust yourself too, so that you balance
Oh, sure.
lean back on the down,
Yeah, it is
lean
nice when
forward, on
you
up,
can do that.
so you're not gonna, go backwards or go forward. So that is another nice. It also helps with if you have some mobility and can get into, back
Oh,
into
to
it,
sit on
you
it
can
easier.
you can it makes the transfer yourself a
Yeah.
little bit
Sure.
easier in that sense.
Yep. I can see where that would be helpful too.
Getting in it that way.
The armrests don't raise. Oh,
No,
this one.
they raise. That's how you can do the
Okay.
transfer. That's
Yeah,
to be
I
able to
was
do the
gonna
transfer.
say.
They both raise.
Because the transfer board wouldn't work unless.
Nope,
Yeah,
they both raise.
raised.
So,
Yeah.
I would ask you, how do you normally transfer? You transfer from the left side, you transfer the right side straight in if you were to transfer.
I usually use a lift, so I go from straight ahead.
Go from straight ahead.
Straight
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the lift would go.
And then
Yeah.
you'd
And then
then
she
you'd
would
want
be
both
lowered.
armrests open then. Most
And then
likely.
I don't know the
So
trick.
that you could it would make it the easiest to be able to
Yeah.
probably do that.
I am a little bit skeptical if a lift would actually help transfer to a chair like that. Because it is so wide, I'm not sure if the legs would fit in between or not. It's not something I want to hassle with at the moment, but I would love to know if you've tried transferring with a lift, if it has worked or what the tricks are. Leave a comment below or head on over to the forums at smanewstoday.com/forums. But I do love how this chair will open up the park to a wide audience. Ben was telling us that he is a naturist at the park, I believe, and that he takes groups of students out in various areas of the park. And a lot of times, if there is a student in a wheelchair, they have to modify the program so that they can be included. But with a chair like this, they can be inclusive in the entire program, which I think is really cool. Because, as you'll see here, a very limited portion of the park is truly accessible.
So point us to a trail.
That's
So-
which one is the most accessible for
This
regular wheelchairs?
Well, the only
We want something easy, just
I
to try it out.
for staying in your
Yeah.
chair. Then I would go park outside my visitor center. It's open till 4. So
Okay.
take this road to the first hard left. Take
Okay.
a left and go through the stop sign, and you'll see the visitor center right there.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can go into that's this building here, and then that's where it'll be parked. You'll be able to go into the campground here, along the lake, and along this trail, which is a paved ADA flat trail all the way to the beach, and then you can basically turn around and come back.
What if this is a good fishing lake?
I don't know.
Although we are enjoying the nice paved path, it really would be a lot of fun to adventure in other areas of the park. So if you do have mobility issues, but you are adventurous and feel like the track chair would be an option for you, I highly recommend checking it out.
Yeah, this is a nice paved trail.
It's not too treacherous,
No,
but it's not Inspiration Peak.
no. Yeah, I wonder what percent incline that is.
I bet there's baths in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like a. Well, it must be. There's steps here. I bet there's a little. I bet people do go fishing down there.
Yeah, that's where I'd be casting.
I'm going to leave a list below of the parks in Minnesota that do have the track chairs available. It's recommended that you call ahead, and any of those accessories that he was talking about, just be sure to ask about them because they're not available for all chairs in all parks. So just think about what might be useful for you and make that request when you call the park to make your reservation.
And here we're at the beach. Right?
Yep.
Now, so we make a U-turn.
Yeah.
Even though it was an abbreviated walk, it was a fun day. I want to encourage you to also check with your parks department if you have other types of impairments. When I was talking on the phone prior to going out to Carlos State Park, she mentioned that they also have glasses for individuals who are colorblind that allow them to see color. How cool is that? I know a lot of individuals maybe would like to purchase something like that on their own, but having it at the park allows them to try it out prior to that. That way they know if it's something that they would really enjoy having themselves. So just consider that when you go to a park. Just check with them to see what resources they have available that would benefit you. On our way home, we decided to stop at a place that serves different beverages like boba teas and smoothies, things like that. Unfortunately, it had a step. It was crazy busy, which is another reason we didn't actually purchase anything. But it's really disappointing to see that places are still inaccessible. But I'm really glad to see places like the state parks are taking steps to make their parks and areas more accessible and more inclusive. So I highly recommend checking it out. And if you have, leave a comment below or comment over on the forums. But that's all I have for you today. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.